Welcome back, guys, to another episode of The Republic We Keep. The American dream has been part of our national identity for generations. For some, it means opportunity, freedom, and the chance to build a better life through hard work. For others, it feels like a promise that's been broken, out of reach in a world of rising costs, inequality, and systemic barriers.
So today, our guest, Antonio Ruffa, came to America at just 18 years old from Italy. Today, he's built a thriving restaurant, raised a family here in Hillsborough, and we're here to hear his story and to ask, is the American dream still alive or has it changed?
Thank you for joining us today. Can you tell us a little bit about your life in Italy before coming to America?
Yes, of course. It's been a journey. Was born and raised in Italy, the province of Calabria, small town called San Gregorio. Very, very small town, less than 1,500 people. And grew up in the town along with my two brothers and sister. And of course, my parents. Our grandparents lived basically next door. All of our extended family members within feet from our house. And I grew up basically, working the farm and going to school. Played soccer all my life. Enjoyed tennis, and at the age of 13, I went to culinary school, and then and at the age of almost 18 years old, I graduated from culinary arts and came to America to visit.
So what motivated you to immigrate to the U.S.? Was there like a specific moment where you knew you wanted to come here?
No, not really. My dad's brother came in the country in the late 70s, and then eventually got married and had children. Later on, he basically took his sister, brought her over to the country, and so I came to visit them. At first, it was just a visit. Mm-hmm. Everybody was talking about America, and we knew how well they were doing and how happy they were, and always I was always surprised over the fact that all the people that came to America never came back home. So it kind of I was very curious about let me see what's all about. Plus, I just got done with my study, and I was interested in coming to see what was going on.
So what would you say were the biggest challenges that you faced when you decided to take over Caffè Piazza?
Well, basically, it was a life dream. It was a dream that in Italy, back in my times, it was almost impossible. Because of one reason, and that reason was called freedom, and it's still today. It just the opportunity that I had once I did so. I think if I was back home, living back home, probably was not something that I would have had it.
Can you tell us a little bit about more what you mean, like the specific opportunities that America offered
that
Italy didn't? Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, Italy was beautiful. Besides family and your friends and birthplace, America just offered something more. No one stopped you if you wanted to open up your own business. If you wanted to own one home or two or 10, all you needed to do is basically work harder and achieve those dreams, those goals that, due to many reasons, Italy wasn't there to offer you. Many of them were political, but corruption was another one, and there was still some poverty when I first came here.
So a lot of people argue that the American dream, like you were talking about, wasn't really meant for immigrants. What would you say to that? Because it sounds like you feel different about it.
Well, I feel like we should explain what you mean by that. So pretty much that the American dream is an illusion that was really designed for only a privileged few. Only people that had already successfully done it in their country, and now it was time for them to do something new. So how do you respond to that?
I personally, everyone feels different about different things, and they approach different things. Personally, I think the American dream is still here. It's still alive. It's still possible. You just have to believe in what you're doing. You got to believe in yourself. The opportunities are here, and the freedom is still here. It was here 32 years ago when I came, and it's still here, I believe, as of today. So you just have to believe in yourself, and don't just keep looking forward. Basically, is what I believe.
So knowing you personally, I know the story that you came with, what was it, $18 in your pocket? What was the exact?
$50 in my pocket.
$50 in your pocket.
$50.
So
50 single dollars.
So what did you do with those $50 that you turned in?
It's been a while. I don't remember what happened, but all I remember is that my dad gave me a $50 bill. It wasn't 50 singles, but he gave me a $50 bill, and with the intention, when you get to America, he says you're gonna live with my brother. You're gonna have a place to stay, food. They're gonna take you places. Just in case you want to buy something personal, here's a little something. And then, $50 turned into what I'm surrounded with today, which is the fruit of hard work, basically.
So how did your parents react when you said that you didn't want to come back?
Well, I think my mom kind of knew at first, because again, we had family members who came before me, and also people from town have gone to America. Excuse me. And so she knew that once anyone will come to America, it was basically impossible to go back because of the reasons, the opportunities, the wellness, the freedom, just all around. And my dad was very happy for me. He knew, one way or the other, I would be happy, and I would, basically build something for myself, and raise a family, just like his brother and sister did. And so yeah, but my mom took the hardest, but she got used to, once she came here for the first time, and and then again and again and again, and over time she basically saw me doing better and better and better, and then getting married and having children, and owning my own business, and owning my own home, and achieving investments. Then your parents are happy for you, if you do well. Of course they're gonna miss you, but yeah, it wasn't easy. Obviously, I think it would have been easier today, with all the
Like FaceTime?
FaceTime and phones and Skype calls and all that. But back then, I remember, I was allowed to call once a week, and I had 5 minutes available, and I think it was like $4 or $5 a minute. So my uncle would allow me to use the phone, the landline, for 5 minutes, and I remember everybody would gathered at my parents' house, all my grandparents, my cousins, my siblings, and mom and dad would get the most time, and then everybody else would get like literally 10, 15 seconds, just so they would hear my voice. I would hear their voices, and then yeah, but it was tough, but well worth it.
So starting a business is obviously hard for anyone, but especially as an immigrant. How did you push through some of those challenges?
Well, it's like being in the desert, and you have basically you have nothing to eat, and all of a sudden, you come across a piece of bread that it could be stale, but you know that that's the only thing you got. So you're gonna work with your
There's like no going back.
teeth, and there's no going back. So this is the way it's gonna be. Like plus we we were raised not to be afraid. We were raised fighting in the streets. We were raised to work in the farms and get up early mornings and take care of the cows and all that, and then go to school and then come home and do it all over again. So it was a fight. That we obviously we had to deal with way before. Doing it out here in this country, I think it was much easier because you had support from the people who were here before you, and also you felt you were free. You were free to do it. There was no intimidations. There were no nobody stopping you from the harder you do it, the harder you work, the more you can achieve. So it was basically fighting against yourself, and the stronger you can be, the more weights you can lift, basically.
I feel like a lot of people in this generation particularly take it for granted, the freedom that you're talking about. What would you say to them?
I would say they should wake up because they don't know how good they have it. They never had to walk to go to work. They never had to get into a cab to go to the mall, or wait for somebody to pick you up, or wait for somebody to cook for you. Just all those things. I feel that kids today, they should go through what an immigrant goes through, or at least what we went through, in order to become legal, in order to become something. When you come here, obviously you arrive here legally, but eventually your visa expires, and if you decide to extend your staying, then you have to deal with the consequences, and the consequences were pretty harsh. You couldn't go places, you couldn't drive, you had to wait for people to pick you up, people to drop you off. You couldn't go places. On your day off, you basically stay at home locked up because everybody went to work. Nowadays, kids basically, you got transportation, Uber, Lyft. You can use your phone and basically order food anytime you want to. You can watch anything on TV. We didn't have all those things back in the days. The 90s when I came, and I'm sure it was much harder in the 70s and 60s when people, left it all behind and, took their wives and kids and basically 2 bags and hopped on Queen Elizabeth. It took 30 days, to get from one part of the world to this country. And they came here with 2-3 children and their spouse. Thinking about those people, I think every American should go through the process that we went through in order to appreciate what this country is all about, and what this country has to offer, and mostly what this country means. Like they say, easy come, easy go, and they have it too easy, and that's why they don't. They should respect that flag, because that flag means way much more than just a bunch of colors and stars.
So I want to touch on the immigration system of today. So you got your citizenship before 9/11, and after 9/11, things changed drastically. So I guess what are your opinions on the current visa process for people who are trying to come here legally? Obviously, it's much harder, it's much more expensive, and very unaffordable to a lot of people. So a lot of people argue that now the American dream has turned into something that is nearly impossible without wealth or connections. So I guess that's why people say that the American dream is dead. They feel like no matter how hard they work, or even you can't get ahead because of rising costs or student debt or just inequality. So what's your response to that? Do you agree?
Easier in a legal way for people to still achieve the American dream. And of course, money, the expensive part. I mean, listen, people today, an average American today, makes, an average $100,000 a year. And, the cost of getting a visa or, getting your citizenship or your resident alien card, it could be, whatever, 5,000, whatever that price is. I'm not aware of, but think about 30, 40 years ago, not to go back into the 60s or 70s. I mean, that cost was a fraction of what it is today, but also people didn't make $100,000 a day. I mean, per year.
So you think it's proportional?
Yeah.
It's proportional to a degree, but of course, 9/11 changed the whole idea and the structure of the immigration status. Just because we flood the gates the wrong way. I think people should still be able to come in legally. Allow them to have some sort of a registration number. Monitor those people. Make them pay taxes. Allow them to get their driver's license. Generate sales of the car, generate the fact that they need insurance to do so, and then if they're in good standings, after 5 years, then give them another piece of document, and then if 5 more years go by, then they're entitled to become citizen or become permanent residents. I think back in the days it was way easier. I think it was too easy for people to come here and stay and achieve those goals. Today it's much harder. But the American dream didn't die. I think what's dying is the fact that people don't want to take those steps because it's harder. And who wants to do hard things in life,
Yeah, I agree, but also at the same time, you need to have a reason to come into the United States. When you apply for a visa, they have a variety of different reasons and why you're coming. And I guess if you just come here because you want to live the American dream, I feel like there's no
avenue.
There's no visa for that. You're here because you marry somebody here. You're here because you want to be an investor. There's all these different types of reasons to come, and they have very long process that could take nearly a decade. But yeah, I agree with what you're saying. It's just I feel like the system is a little bit messed up, and there's a lot of gridlock and a lot of congestion too. Everything takes forever. Yeah.
Yeah, I think. At the end of the day, unfortunately, everything's political, and they use, they weaponize the system, based on what they want and who they want. But at the end of the day, the American dream still stays the same. To me, it's still the same, and people should stay focused on the fact that what this country has to offer. What this country means is way more than how hard it is to become a resident or a citizen. And the system should be much easier. But again, we're going back into the politics that every different party in Washington uses it as a weapon, and basically, they keep that, as a weapon. So
Yeah.
I don't think they're working together to fix what should be something easy. Immigrants. This country is built by immigrants. There's no true Americans. I mean, So that's what I think. But that's something for not for me or neither one of you guys to figure out how to manage that. But
Yeah.
So do you think America is still unique in the opportunities it offers, or do you think that other countries,
Like, what's the difference in going to like France
Canada,
or Canada or Brazil for that matter?
no, I don't personally. I've been to several countries. As a tourist, obviously. I only lived in Italy, but I can tell you that I have friends that live pretty much all over the world, and many of them wish they were here in America. By what they hear, by what my story, by other people's story. That to me America is unique. Is unique for its freedom. I know there's a lot of political stuff nowadays, and you can't do this, you can't do that. You got to be careful what you say, and things like that. But I still think that this by far this is the best country on earth, and the reason why everybody wants to come here is just that. What this country gives is unique. The country is unique, and remains unique. I always say, I tell my children, sometimes they joke on me that I said, you know what? When the rest of the world is basically pulverized, I think in this country we still have some oxygen. We're still breathing. We might be, things might be demolished and, almost like Armageddon sort of kind of thing. But I think we still have, there's still hope. There's still a way somehow to, let's start again, And I think this is only, this will be the only country the only place on earth that you can actually do that.
Going off of that, I wanted to ask you, what lessons about America would you want to pass on to your children?
To always work hard, always work hard, and be humble and respect. Always have respect for this country, because this country somehow gave you the opportunity to be here, to live here, to go to school here, to get married here, to establish your family, to go to work here, to basically everything. They should always be thankful that I came here so they can have that better life that I only achieved by coming here.
Yeah, that reminds me of what Socrates wrote in Crito about how living in a country and reaping its benefits, you have an obligation to respect it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's exactly what you're describing
Absolutely,
here.
Yeah.
So also, if you had one piece of advice to give to somebody looking to come to America and chase their American dream, what would it be today?
Don't be afraid. Don't let legislations and politics intimidate you or stop you from becoming something, because it's still here. America didn't die. The flag is still here. The opportunities are still here. The freedom's still here. It's always here. It will never go away. I mean, this is the land. So I said, just fight with your teeth. And there are systems in place for people who want to come here legally. You just have to obey, and you got to make it. You can't break the law. Just follow your dreams and just follow the law, and you'll be home run.
What can we do to preserve the freedom that you're talking about?
Like our generation,
generation.
specifically.
Just stop looking at stop listening to the medias. The media are is I think they're spreading. There are few among them, many and few in between. I think they just give the wrong information, the wrong idea about the beauty of this country. But it's still here. It's still here. You should just believe. Just believe in the in the freedom that this country always has given, and it still offers today.
So, in one sentence, how would you define the American dream in your own words?
With all that being said,
it's very simple. Freedom, freedom, freedom. That's basically how I see it. You can be you, and nobody can stop you.
I love that.
And only this republic, only this country can give it to you. That's my quote.
I just want to end with saying thank you for coming on our podcast.
Yeah, this was really great.
Absolutely.
And he is
My
the owner
pleasure.
of Caffè Piazza. It's a great restaurant. The food is amazing. You should totally check it out at Caffè Piazza on Instagram, right?
Yes.
The food's amazing, and the family works there. It's a great restaurant, and they do amazing caterings too.
Yeah, thank you. Your story is really inspiring.
Thank you. I hope many get to be inspired by my story, and many others. I'm sure we're all pretty much feel the same, and I hope that that candle never gets shot, because it's the best. It's the best. No others like America. Thank you.
Thank you.